Hello and welcome to AV Team channel. My name is Vilas Datar and you are watching the last episode of my coastal route bicycle journey from Mumbai to Goa. My last night's stay in Shiroda was not so very pleasant. For whatever reason, there was electrical power outage for most of the night and it was extremely humid and hot. I barely slept, so leaving early in the morning was not difficult at all. I had my morning tea and headed for the jetty that was just about 10 kilometers away from my homestay. Terracol Fort is the last fort in Maharashtra and I wanted to visit that before I entered Goa. Taking a short detour, I climbed the steep hill, pushing my bicycle up to reach the entrance of the fort. I got the very first ferry service from Terracol going to Goa, and the ferry is free for all people except the people with motorized vehicles. Thank you, Goa. Goa is one of the smallest states in India, but it is one of the most visited states by locals as well as international tourists. It's famous for old churches, Portuguese-style homes, vibrant culture, Goan cuisine, the Feni, water sports, Viva Carnival, and most importantly, Susegad. In local Konkani language represents a way of life, a life that is laid back, relaxed, contented. My cycle has been troubling me for past few days. For some reason, the front wheel gets jammed and it has really been a hard labor riding this bike. I got it fixed twice already, once in Ratnagiri and again in Vengurla, but looks like those fixes don't last for more than a couple of days. So my first task is to go see the Decathlon store in Kalangut and see if they can identify and fix the problems. The return wasn't very easy. I had to provide them names and contact phone numbers of people who helped me fix the issues on the way. The case was then referred to their Bangalore office, but the next day they accepted that there were component related issues and also accepted the return. To my rescue came Susan. She came in her car with Nelson, an excellent fun loving guy who was always willing to drive us around showing places. Another must-visit place for me was my friend's home in Ponda. We worked together back in 1982-84 and the last we met I think was in 1986 when I had visited Goa. After that we had lost touch. I didn't have his phone number or address. I just remembered his name and the city where he lived. Also I faintly remembered the area where he lived. I am really very thankful to Susan for patiently coming along when I was desperately trying to locate my friend's house. It was a very emotional moment when we finally found his house but learned that my friend died a few years ago. Back in 1982-84, we went on many hikes together in Sahyadri Hills near Mumbai. May his soul rest in peace. Susan also introduced me to Mr. Ralph, an energetic and enthusiastic guy who has excellent relations with some affluent locals. Goa still has many ancient Portuguese houses. Mr. Ralph and the homeowners were kind enough to allow us in their ancestral home where we could see the paintings, picture frames, furniture, chandeliers, etc. from 19th century. Thank you, Mr. Ralph. Another very important place Ralph took us to was Father Agnel Ashram at Pilar in South Goa. I did my engineering from this same institute but from their Bandra campus in Mumbai, and it was really very exciting to see the Pilar Seminary, which is among the only two surviving seminaries originally built by the Portuguese. This stands on a hillock at Goa Vela, which was once the capital of the famous Kadamba dynasty. A university of science, arts and theology was established in the premises of the Pilar monastery in 1633. They also built Our Lady of Pilar Church. The tomb of Father Agnel de Souza, who was the spiritual director of the seminary, lies inside. There is a small museum which houses fragments of pottery and temple sculptures excavated from the site, including a lion, the Kadamba symbol, Portuguese coins, and beautiful carving of Mary Magdalene done in 1733 by a Goan sculptor. After having lunch in Panjim and visiting Dona Paula, which is closed for renovations, Susan and Nelson gave me a ride to my homestay in South Goa. Kalangut, where I stayed for 2 days, is crowded and very noisy. However, here at this homestay, it is quiet and peaceful. The only sound you hear is birds chirping. Susan and Nelson took me around in North and South Goa. Many old churches and the government buildings have a mark of distinct old Portuguese architecture. There is a 4-day holiday and most of the very touristic places in northern Goa were very crowded and noisy. It is not the same Goa I remember having visited back in 80s. I think that charm is lost, or perhaps I am getting old. For people who like peace and quiet, I suggest you stay in South Goa. This has been one of my most memorable bicycle tours so far. I never had a 15-day long trip before. When I started with Milan, I was not sure if I could complete it. It was not only the long distance, but the unending ghats of Sahyadris, the heat, the humidity, the traffic, the quality of roads, and most importantly my age, which is not on my side. Doing 100-odd kilometers of cycling in one day is one thing, but to keep doing it almost each and every day, back to back, could be challenging. It's not only a physical challenge, but also a mental challenge. But now that I have completed this tour, I am happy and more confident that I can take up more such rides in coming months while I am still in India. During this tour, I could visit and admire so many forts, temples, churches. Majority of times I was very close to the nature, the ocean, hills, birds, and most importantly so many good people I met on the way. Life has been beautiful. I had done all my earlier videos in Marathi because majority of our subscribers understand it very well. Being my mother tongue, I am myself more comfortable in Marathi. But this is last part of Mumbai to Goa journey and I have attempted to narrate it in English for some of the subscribers who do not understand Marathi but have been very sincerely watching all our videos.